We're going to take a few minutes to go through Exactly's platform. When you look at what we do, our sales performance platform really delivers end-to-end intelligence, whether you're setting up the right strategy, executing on results, making sure that they're aligned, all the way through providing optimized capabilities to make sure that you're getting the most out of your incentive spend. So this whole platform, it's really driven to help companies achieve their sales goals. When you think about those different products that we offer, they're all aligned towards this one goal of helping a company ensure that they make the number that's set out for a sales team. So let's actually dive in. And let's start in the sales planning area. Exactly Sales Planning product is a continuous planning application that provides a framework for companies to achieve all of their strategic goals, whether it be revenue or margins or what it might be. So the real focus of my entire demo today is this $289 million number you see up here. This is the goal that's been set for this sales team to deliver. However, if you notice the number beside it is showing my current plan, the projection that the system is telling me is that we'll only get to $253 million. The reality is based on my current assumptions, my assumptions on attrition and the hiring and ramps and all the other hedging that we're doing, we're not expecting the sales team to be able to deliver the amount of our target. So we've got a couple things to look at. So let's go over some of the variables that we might want to consider when setting up our plan. In this lower section, you'll notice all of the levers that I can set to inform the system of my expectations for the year. Maybe we'll take a quick look at the quotas that I can set either by the role type or even by an individual person. And we have tools that can even help you come up with the values that these should be. But in this example, let's focus on the senior account exec role. And you can see I'm hedging pretty heavily on this one. I'm saying that I'm going to give them a $2.4 million quota, but only expect an average of 70% performance or a delivery of $1.6 million. So I might want to make some adjustments here. And of course, anywhere I make adjustments, as soon as I make them, they'll be reflected throughout the report that I saw here on the top. I also have assumptions for things like ramp. So you can see in my system right now, I'm saying that I expect it to be somewhere around a 6-month ramp. And as a high growth company, there's a lot of hiring and a lot of people coming on board where this ramp becomes very important. So what I'm going to ask the system to do is to add some artificial intelligence to it. So by clicking on this link, it's actually going to give me a report that shows me how my employees have performed in the past. So based on that role, it's taken them not 6, but actually 12 months. So each dot that you see here represents a prior period where a rep was in their 6th month of their tenure, or 8th month or 9th month. So this is now projecting a linear regression to show me that I actually should be using 12 months, not just 6. So I'm going to accept that change. And we're going to scroll back up to the top and you'll see immediately the system is showing me the impact of any changes to my assumptions or to the actual things that come in. If I have actual attrition or if I have other changes that might take place, you'll see those reflected here immediately as well. So let's assume we've set all of our assumptions and we now want to ensure that we have equitable territories that will allow our team to thrive. So to do that, we're going to toggle into the Align Star part of our application, and we're going to drill into this Northeast region where you can see I've already got some of the data set up. Now, the first thing you might notice is a number of dots here on the map. Each of those squares represents an actual account, and behind that count is all kinds of information that you might have about the account size, its industry, revenue production, maybe actual opportunity data from CRM, potential, whatever. But these items allow the system to optimize territory design for balance. Whether that be balance on workload or potential sales, or even things like travel time. It allows the system to set these optimal territories. And you can see I've already had the system do that. What I'm going to do here is just do a quick analysis that shows me based on the current setup of these territories and the optimal design that it's set, it's giving me about a plus or minus 10% range in that expected sales revenue that they can produce. And I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a quite good model, and we're going to leave that as it is. So now you can see we've got a great plan in place for the right hiring, the right attrition expectations. We've designed optimal territories to ensure that our reps have the ability to deliver on their goals. So I'm going to toggle now into Tony Smith. Tony is our sales rep in this organization, and he's very interested in the visibility into his incentives. The first thing we see is a set of dashboards, and in fact, the first one I see is this dashboard with his attainment levels. We want to ensure that the revenue goal and margin goals that are here are front and center for Tony. In fact, here he sees his $1 million. Of that $289 million number, we're trying to ensure that Tony can do his part to help us deliver on that as a company. Tony also gets details of every commission payment that's made to him. So over here on the right, I can click to see the full details of every commission that he's earned during the period and exactly why he received it. One other thing that we have that's very important to sales reps is the ability for them to model different ideas of how they might get paid. And in this example here in the incentive estimator, I've already imported my opportunities from my CRM package. And I'm basically now looking at the individual deals that are really high profile for me this quarter. And I can see how much I would get paid, including any bonuses that might be there. And I can make changes to this as well, kind of treat it like a whiteboard and recalculate as necessary. So again, from a rep's perspective, the system's all about showing visibility to all of their incentives, gaining trust in the system, and letting them understand how their compensation plan actually operates. Now we're going to look at the tools that sales managers use to monitor their teams. So for that, I'm going to toggle into a sales manager view, in this case, Barbara Wilson. Barbara is one of our sales VPs, and it's going to give her a lot of insights into the health of her sales team. In fact, you'll notice that Barbara here has almost half of that $289 million number. She's got a little over $100 million that she's responsible for. And her team is achieving pretty well at this point in the year. We're about halfway through the year in our demo environment, and she seems to be attaining quite well. However, we want to take a little bit deeper look, as this is updating for her and showing her that each of her team members, how they're performing. And you might notice this notification that says, hey, there's a high attrition risk in Brandon's team. And it looks like Brandon's doing okay in terms of his personal number, but I'm going to drill into that and try to figure out what's going on. And in fact, it's not just on Brandon's team, it's one of Brandon's managers, Chris. And as I drill into Chris's page, you'll see that it now shows me it may be some particular people here. In fact, Steve Wilcox, the second highest performer on this team, is showing a moderate attrition risk. There's a 70% chance that Steve is going to leave this company by the end of the year. So this is concerning to me, and I might take action individually to ensure that we help retain Steve's talent at the organization. Maybe he's already in a program that might help that, and maybe I have some personal knowledge that will go on top of this. And then I think another interesting way to look at this is to zoom out a layer, and instead of looking at one individual, look at the entire organization that you have visibility to. So this chart is a scatter that contains the quota attainment, so how well they're doing this year, compared to their risk of leaving the organization. So we have some very high risk dots, again, we might want to look at individually, but I think sections like this middle section in the amber bar are quite interesting. There's a number of dots here that are showing high attrition risk. It gives me a chance to explore, to try to understand what things we might do as an organization, maybe leveraging benchmarking to see if there's something about their pay that could be changed, or maybe it's something in the structure of the comp plan. But it might also just be a reality that we are going to experience some attrition in particular parts of our business.
So we're going to want to explore this a little bit deeper. Let's start by toggling over into Salesforce Einstein. Xactly's data can be completely transmitted into the Salesforce Einstein environment for deeper analysis. By bringing together my incentives data and my data from Salesforce.com, I can more accurately analyze the health of my sales organization. Am I experiencing problems in one certain part of my business? I can drill in, see details. Or I can just look at the combination of how a rep is performing in their incentives, along with the activity that I'm seeing in their pipeline. All of this together allows me to have a more complete picture of the health of my sales organization. However, I want to move into benchmarking. I want to drill a little bit deeper to see, is there something about the way that we're paying that might be off compared to what we should be? Xactly benchmarking allows you to look at your plan designs and the way you pay your sales reps and compare that against a benchmark. Our benchmark is made up of 15 years of aggregated and anonymized industry data. It allows you to take any cross-section of that data and compare yourself and the way you pay, the way your plans are designed against that benchmark.
So for the demo today, I'm going to focus just on the spend tab. This is going to let me drill in and look at how we pay compared to how other companies in my industry or even adjacent industries pay. So the first thing you'll notice is over here on the left, there's a number of colors. Right now, I'm only showing the green bar, which is my company, in this case, my demo company. But I can also add my closest peer group, or even all companies in our benchmark, and then further isolate that data down by different things. Like I might only want to choose particular industries, or I might want to choose particular sizes of companies. I might want to choose locations, regions, countries, time frames, or even payee types. I can ask the system to only bring back a certain type of payees, managers, account executives, solution consultants, you name the role. So all of this provides me many different types of reports to compare pay mixes, target incomes, actual payments, and much, much more. So really helping me create a better design. And all of this, again, is backed by that deep empirical data set that I mentioned in the beginning. It's over 15 years from thousands of customers and hundreds of thousands of sales reps, all aggregated and anonymized, but all available to you to help you make the right decision.
So now that we've analyzed our plan design and our pay structures, let's close out with taking a look
Back into sales planning to look at this $289 million number and recognize that perhaps the attrition assumptions that we put in at the beginning of the year need adjustment. So all of this that I've shown you is really to enable your teams to make decisions and continuously adjust the plan as necessary to ensure that you can make that number. Again, in this case, this $289 million that's been put in front of the sales team.